brief of the project was to create a new culturally led mixed-use scheme which included new retail streets and commercial workspace. All of this was centred around the historic Borough Market. Needless to say, we felt a huge responsibility to develop a scheme which had to successfully cohabit with this wonderful heritage place. The vision revolved around how do we create a new series of streets that creates a new retail place. We're working with some wonderful Victorian viaducts, but they're quite deep. So the idea being that how do we create new connectivity and places? We started by overlaying the old medieval street pattern, and we brought back new streets and lanes which haven't been seen in the area for more than 500 years. The use of masonry to realise the vision was a fundamental part of our design ethos. It was essential that we ensured that the new buildings, whilst unashamedly modern, successfully cohabit with the heritage fabric. The brickwork itself is quite challenging across all 5 of the buildings. We wanted to ensure that each of the buildings had its own unique character, whilst also kind of harmonising with the surrounding area. Working with IG and their huge range of products allowed us to realise these details, and they are details which aren't common. The detailing around the masonry is the fundamental part of this scheme. We've used very, very intricate details to pick up on historic references, including a poured brick detail, which has a very fine grain to it, which kind of references various details that you'll find in the market, and also the wonderful Grade 1 Southwark Cathedral. The idea of the brick piers, the way that the soffits are working, and also the cantilevered parapets are all part of the technical solutions delivered with IG to ensure that the architectural vision which we came up from the initial stages have now been delivered into the buildings which you see there today. Working with IG was an absolute pleasure. We found their technical advice, their can-do attitude so important to us actually realising our ultimate vision for the scheme. The various fixing systems which they have, very, very deep soffits, which very much kind of create the character of Borough Yards across each of the 5 buildings. When something very complicated looks simple, then you kind of know that you've got it right. One of the real successes of this scheme has been how creating new high streets when the retail environment is changing so drastically at the moment. There's no greater outcome of any project for an architect than seeing people visit spaces that you've created. The success of Borough Yards is how it has successfully stitched itself into the area, an area which is well known and well established. I think the relationship which we have between Borough Yards and Borough Market is also a fantastic outcome of the scheme.